Hello, everyone. What is up? Welcome to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. My name is David. We are doing an instant reaction. It is just me, David. Just watched the first, actually, the episodes 3 and 4. Feels like the first 2 episodes. It feels like it's been a while, but yeah, just doing an instant reaction video on what we just saw, um, and see if anyone else is awake because it's pretty late. It's 3:06 a.m. where I'm at. So just wanted to see if anyone wanted to talk or had any kind of interesting things to say about MAUL Shadow Lord episodes 3 and 4. Doesn't look like anyone that watches our podcast is awake right now. I know everyone has to work usually, most likely. I know there's a few people across the pond that might tune in here, but just off the top of the old noggin here, the things that kind of stood out were, um, well, the cool things I thought definitely were when, and these are spoilers, of course. You need to have seen the actual show here because we're going to talk spoilers. But and feel free commenting, sharing the video here. But I just want to say the cool stuff that I thought that they showed tonight, where when the lights went out and it was just Maul in the dark, totally disappearing, talking to Devin, igniting that red lightsaber, and of course they did the stereotypical trope where you could see Maul, but then when she got closer, he disappeared. I thought that was so cool. It is a stereotype. It is a trope, so to speak, but they pulled it off. It's always cool. It works for Maul. The other thing too, I think in that 4th episode, we saw the sky. And what's funny was I thought of DreamWorks automatically, the DreamWorks fanfare when you see the sky, but it's the reflection in the water, and then the floaty drops in, or the bobber, and then you can tell it's water, and you're looking at the water reflection of the sky, and you see the little kid on the moon. But in this case, I think we saw 2 moons. I thought that was a nice little homage. That was something I would definitely do. Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of people watching now. So yeah, comment on what you thought tonight was pretty cool with these episodes. I mean, these 2 episodes were solid too. I really thought that they did not drop the ball at all. Um, Going deeper into the investigatory, the kind of Batman-ish of it all with Lawson. Wagner Moura is doing such a terrific job with that. We got a lot more sentience, I would say, out of Two Boots. Lawson came up behind him. I knew he was going to shut him off. Totally shut him off. He was trying to contact the Empire, sticking to all of his protocols. And of course, we get the big shot of the Star Destroyer in the end. Is Vader on that ship? Palpatine? No, Palpatine couldn't be on that ship, right? It's got to be Vader. You did hear the hints of, I think, the Imperial March in the Kiner family score there. So I think we're getting Vader. I know a lot of people on the podcast have said that we're not getting Vader. I think we're getting Vader. We're going to get to see that assumed confrontation between Maul and Vader that we see in previous animation of Maul being terrified of Vader. You can kind of see it in his eyes. So, what did you guys think that was cool? Comment, let me know. It looks like we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, let's try and have a conversation here and try and figure out what stuck out to you. I kind of talked about what stuck out to me. I like the fact that we got a lot more Devin. I think that was cool. But the thing I think I missed out on, someone needs to fill me in on this because maybe it's just a simple oversight on my part. But in the end of episode 3, how did Maul figure out her name was Devin? I think I may have missed that because I was thinking about certain things. If anyone knows, chime in. Let me know because I'm gonna have to rewatch that. It's probably something simple. Of course, we see her name in the captions. Um, well, yeah, let us know. I don't know if any one of our normal listeners is up right now. I see a couple of people on Instagram are awake, and a few people on our other channels. But I thought it was good progression. I think Sam Witwer is just killing it. I think he was born now to play Maul. And I did hear a few people kind of get annoyed with him talking really close to the mic like this because it's different than any other character. But I mean, he's the title character. It's Maul. And just Sam Witwer's like voice inflections. And I think we're all used to Sam Witwer playing Maul at this point in his cadence and his articulation and his precise pronunciation of certain words. I mean, it's now just ingrained, I think, into all of our heads. And we talked about it on the podcast a couple days ago that it would be great to see Sam Witwer play a live action Maul. And there's a lot of animation fans, there's a lot of live action fans, and sometimes they don't want the two to cross. But Chris on our last episode, he had the great idea of maybe doing season 1, season 2, then season 3 essentially would be like the Maul film, Maul Shadow Lord live action theatrical film. I think it would work. I think it'd be great. But what say you? I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys thinking? You guys are up tonight. You're thinking about the show. What haven't I talked about tonight? I think there's a lot of stuff, of course. But that mystery of Lawson's wife, we kind of found out a little bit more about her. She works for the Empire. Who is she in the Empire? Do we know who she is? To me, that's the big question. And why is Lawson so hesitant to contact the Empire and let Two Boots do his job? What's kind of the big deal? I mean, we all kind of know that it's not a great thing to have the Empire have an occupation on your planet, your city. That's one big reason, but I think there's another kind of big reason why he doesn't want imperial occupation. What's the reason? I don't know. I've only seen up to episode 4. There's 4 other episodes that I know media and other podcasts have seen. I've only seen up to episode 4, so I have no idea. I'm not looking for the spoiler, but I think it's a little interesting. Are they going to play it with like another like cameo? Are we going to just see just a new character that was his wife come into play, and we get a brand new character? The rumor for Maul Shadow Lord is that we're going to get a ton of cameos. That's what it seems like, and I think there's expected cameos, and I hope there's some very unexpected cameos. I think that would be cool. I mean, could we get? Let's see. So Maul takes place after the Clone Wars. Who could we possibly get? I know we got the 2 new Jedi, the Master and Padawan combo there that are kind of co-starring in the show. And you would think that Devon's going to play a big part. She's going to play a really big part just due to the fact that they released her lightsaber at the Disney park. I really want to see if they take her to a more of a creative spot than just converting her into Talon. I know that some people say, yeah, how could this not be Talon? I mean, at this point, I know in the very beginning, if you watch the podcast, years ago, I was like, yeah, let's bring in Thrawn, let's bring in extended universe concepts and characters, bring in Jackson the Rabbit if you want to. But to convert a Padawan into Talon, not a straight one-to-one conversion, but maybe kind of the substitute to what Talon would have become, because I still wanna see an extended universe, um, timeline, so to speak, with animation and live action, and a lot of people don't wanna see that because they wanna be strictly canon, and I would love to see expanded universe stuff. I think that would be terrific. I know a whole lot of people don't know much about the expanded universe. They don't know much about some of the beloved books that are out there. Of course, I don't think we wanna see Chewie taking on a moon and dying, but you can pick and pull and still make interesting Star Wars, I think, with Rogue Squadron and maybe some of the Prince Shizor stuff, but maybe have it separate from the episodic Skywalker timeline. I think that would work. Um, but yeah, I want to see, and I think we're going to get Devin's growth and maturity all throughout season 1 and season 2. Um, Feels like there's going to be a big push, and I think there's been some critics too in regards to Devin, because some people have kind of said, "Well, this is the de facto Ahsoka character because this is like a Filoni thing." Filoni wasn't as hands-on as I think a lot of people assume. I know it's a lot of Brad Rao and possibly Athena. Um, in that first episode, like I said on the last podcast, there were 3 directors, which is pretty cool. I think the second episode only had 1 director. I believe it was the guy with the last name Ruiz. I don't remember, but yeah, I think they're just doing a phenomenal job. They've really matured and kind of got this down to a science. And of course, I really love the fact when Filoni was on stage. I think it was with the when they invited all the influencers to Lucasfilm, and he referenced something that I always think about. I always think about the beginning of Star Wars and when George Lucas stepped in as a very young man, and he stepped into ILM, and ILM had done 2 shots in like 6 months or whatever while he was in Africa and Tunisia. And he basically told them they're going to do this, this, and this. And of course, the model makers and the special effects commercial guys are like, well, it's never been done before, but okay. Um, and George Lucas reemphasized that at the 40th panel, that when they decided to make a Star Wars animated series back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, um, they told him it's never been done before. This will push the boundaries of animation to the limit, and we don't know if we can execute this. And George Lucas said, "No, you will. You'll do it, and we'll get it done." And they did, and that's always like his mindset. It's something I kind of take in my ordinary life where I feel like I can't do something. Um, Maybe necessarily not can't, but it feels like it's going to be a lot of time, effort, and sacrifice. But I still kind of truck on, soldier on, and I know it can get done and just execute. And that's what they're doing with the show, definitely. And his mandate was Filoni's mandate was to make the show more fierce, more um, stylized with the paint on glass technique that you can really see on Maul's face. The thing I love is they did all the matte paintings with the holes built in, like they did with the original trilogy, and then they kind of like computerized. I love it when they take the old and the new. Anytime they can do something practically, that's Star Wars' signature. I mean, they have the benefit right there of having these people. They're, of course, yeah, they're based out in California, and there's it's seems like it's a very slowly kind of dying art, but I mean, the practicality, I think that's what makes Star Wars feel like Star Wars. And of course, it's animation, but animation does have its roots in Star Wars back with the Clone Wars and the continuation on through the Rebels and Bad Batch. And I really wasn't that big of a fan after a while of the animation, but it it persevered. And at that time, I couldn't watch it, but now as an older person, I can actually parse out some time and watch it. But yeah, this show, there's no let up. I think both these episodes were really good, really really good. And we talked about the titling last podcast. If you saw it on YouTube, Chapter 3 was Whispers in the Unknown, and Chapter 4 was Pride and Vengeance. And of course, next week we're going to get Inquisition and Night of the Hunted. And there's only 3 more nights of this, folks. And I haven't seen a lot of people complain about the length of the episodes, too. They feel like they're very short, but we're getting 2 per night. And they announced a season 2. So, oh, hey, what's up, Joe? Just finished episode 4. Maul was fiery. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think they're killing it with the animation and the story. I think it's all about the story. Then the animation comes second, and I think they're doing a really good job. The new characters, none of them annoy me, so to speak. I like all of them. I mean, it's pretty rock solid. That initial Rotten Tomatoes 100% rating, I think, was spot on. There's only 11 critics. I don't know what the rating is now, though. I don't think they've shared those statistics. Or maybe they have. I just haven't looked at them. But yeah, no drop off. Getting to see Maul fight 2 other Jedi with a double-bladed lightsaber was just fantastic. And they were laying it on thick there when they kind of like slowed it down, and it was Maul with the double blade versus Uncle Decky and his niece. I thought that was really, really good. Really good. Brought back a lot of nostalgia. Never thought, really never thought we'd see that again. But I was, I do like what the Kiners are doing with the music, with the score. Just little hints. I think we got a little bit of a hint of Battle of Heroes when Maul was going up against Devin. I think it was Battle. I don't think it was Duel of Fates. I think it's Battle of Heroes. I really love that. Joe says, I want a Master Daki action figure ASAP. I really do like the character design. I like it when he has the hood off. Some people say he's the dinosaur Jedi. I don't know if it's tapping into my subconscious, but I do like that aesthetic. And somebody also said that if you look at his nose, it's like an inverted Rebel Alliance logo. I don't know if that's playing on people's subconscious too, but we saw Daki with the lightsaber. Is that hiding in that like pipe that he has, or is it like separate, or was his pipe when he was fighting Maul? I didn't even think about that. I know that was one of like the burning questions we had. Not quite sure. Yeah, I would like some action figures from the show. I told my wife, I sweared off buying more stuff. As you can tell behind me, I got a lot of stuff. But I'm really digging MAUL Shadow Lord. The new characters for sure. I definitely I think if you go to one of the conventions we'll be at, I know Joe will be at SpaceCon with us. Hopefully I get an interview with him on the side, and maybe we talk about Shadow Lord a little bit. I think he's really into it. Yeah, the Maul, the Devin. I definitely want those action figures. Hopefully we see some Devin cosplay. That would be cool. I know at Rebel Scum Con, there's a lot of Twi'leks actually running around. Maybe we'll see a Devon, and that'll be like the big hit. Anything else kind of pop out that I didn't cover? Joe says Space Con for sure. Who do you guys think is in that Star Destroyer? I mean, you would assume Vader, right? You heard like the Imperial March. Yeah, Joe says he'll be at Rebel Scum Con too. Yeah, we'll see each other soon enough here. Coming up in June at Space Con, then Rebel Scum in August. Who do you think was in that Star Destroyer, if anyone, Joe? Any idea? Do you know? I think a lot of people do know, but I think there's I think people are kind of keeping quiet as they should when they get the screeners and everything. But I don't have a screener. I don't know anyone that has. Oh yeah, shoot, yeah, duh, yeah, Inquisitors. It's got to be Inquisitors, right? That would make more sense. But we heard the Imperial March, though. I automatically think Vader. Is it? I know the crow-faced Inquisitor. He's in like the fanfare at the beginning of all the shows. I guess he's going to play a large part. And of course, Marak, who we saw in the trailers. Maybe he's the guy. Maybe they're both in there. Maybe the whole Inquisitorius that's alive is going to go after them all. Joe says Vader versus Maul will happen in the finale or season 2, I bet. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking more the finale because if you look at the graphic, this one right here, chapter 10 just says finale. Every other chapter has an actual title, an actual specific title. So that's got to be something else. That's got to be something else. And of course, everyone's seen Marak on his knees in front of a hologram. So yeah, when I think of Maul, I don't think of Inquisitors. But of course, we've seen the trailers and stuff. But my brain is just gearing up for the Vader Maul duel that I think we're kind of expecting. And it feels like it's going to come maybe sooner than later. Or, like we said, it's going to be the finale. Either way, I wanted in season 1. I think that's something that people are kind of anticipating or subconsciously anticipating. And I think that MAUL Shadow Lord has delivered on, and the marketing has delivered on all of our anticipation, which I give big kudos to Lucasfilm for doing for MAUL Shadow Lord. And of course, Mando Grogu comes out at the end of May, but they kind of don't want to be snaking his own tail here because they want to promote Maul, get the people hyped up for Maul. I haven't seen as much advertisement for Maul lately, but Mando Grogu's going to ramp up, so it's kind of like, well, you got 2 really, really, really close releasing projects. And May 4th, what's going to happen May 4th? It's going to be the finale. We're finally going to see the end of season 1 of MAUL Shadow Lord. But what else are we going to get? Are we going to get tickets for Mando Grogu, or is that dropping earlier? I think I saw a report they're going to drop possibly April 17th. But we all know how reports go. Sometimes they're accurate, sometimes they're not accurate. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know in chat in the comments what you guys thought of tonight's 2 episodes. And every time I look at them, Whispers in the Unknown, When I hear whispers, I think The Lord of the Rings, and when I see Pride and Vengeance, I my brain always thinks Pride and Prejudice. It's been said so many times. I've heard it so many times in my life. But yeah, just to get the amount of action I think we're getting is something that we can kind of talk about. I mean, they're delivering every episode, and it's not something that they're kind of stuffing into the episode. It's earned. It feels like there's nothing that's irking me on that side of the house. And I mean, there isn't really much to complain about. I mean, there's a bunch of nits to pick, but there's very minor things. I guess you could maybe say length of episode, but to me, it's just flowing. And the fact that I think Lucasfilm, their marketing department, and whoever made the decision to release 2 per night, that was a fantastic decision. And to have the finale on May 4th, just fantastic. You got to give them kudos. I always give them kudos when they need kudos, but when they mess up, I'll talk about that too. But everything from MAUL Shadow Lord, from the casting to the experimentation with the animation, I think it's all dead on. It's working, and just resurrecting that character from the dead, essentially, and filling in the gaps with MAUL. I think that was a wise decision. And the other wise decision, I'll probably say it every time I go live, is the fact that they didn't make him not the character that we know and love. They didn't soften him up. They're not making him to look like he needs to be redeemed or he's the good guy. He's still evil. He's still Maul. He's still trying to play 4D chess with people and manipulate the season, or manipulate everyone, the Empire, the law, the remaining Jedi. I mean, it's spot on. I hope they continue this tradition of giving us the same character that we are giving us, the just that the flavor that we're expecting. we're getting the mall flavor here, and it's great. It's great. I hope it continues, and I hope it bleeds into live action. And it's tremendous what they're doing with this animated show. So much to the point where I want to get the merch. So, there's a lot of mall fans out there, and I think there's going to be a lot more. But then you run into the issue of, okay, so if you do a few seasons of this, and we all know his end, his demise, is that going to be it, or are we somehow going to get something else? I know Sam Witwer actually talked about doing a video game. That would be cool, because if y'all played the last Battlefront, it was really cool to play with Maul when he has a double-bladed lightsaber and you're just like slicing through everyone and everything. I hope we can get that. I really hope we can. And of course, Sam Witwer, he was Star Killer in The Force Unleashed, and he knows something or two about a video game, doing a video game. So hopefully that becomes reality, and we do get a Maul video game. I think fans are all starved, and it's the last few video games. I want to say, yeah, they've been really good. Cameron Monaghan has been terrific, and then you see the report of, another actor wants to play the role of Cal Kestis. And it's like, why don't you just get Cameron Monaghan to play? It's like, why are other people vying for that role? I don't know, but yeah, just like on the live action side. And I'm not the biggest of the animation fans out there. I do love MAUL Shadow Lord, but I hope they continue and listen to Sam Witwer and give us a MAUL video game. I think that would be terrific. Maybe you could even play through the episodes of Shadow Lord. I think that would be interesting. I know some people might say it's repetitive or whatever, but you don't necessarily have to go beat for beat. I mean, you can add stuff to it, add to the lore of Shadow Lord. I think that'd be cool. Checking Instagram to see if there's any comments. I don't think I see any there. But yeah, let us know. Let us know what you thought was cool, what you thought was going to happen, what might happen in the next couple episodes, a whole 7 days from now. I'm interested to hear people's thoughts and theories and what they think of the show. So, yeah, thanks everyone for attending my instant reaction here. I know it's like super late; it's 3:37 a.m. So, I think I'm going to get to bed, and I'm probably going to publish our last podcast so you can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, and or whatever app you listen to. Joe has a great idea. An open world MAUL video game on Janix would rock. I still want a Mandalorian video game too. Yeah, they really need to release that Mando 1313 game on Coruscant. That would be terrific. And MAUL on Janix exploring, maybe doing reconnaissance for Shadow Lord. I don't know. That would be terrific. I would love both of those. But it seems like we're getting other stuff. A lot of times it feels like Star Wars could just dominate whatever market. It could be video games, movies, animation. I think they're dominating on animation right now, or at least they're picking up speed in animation, picking back up speed in animation. I think they need a couple more hits to be dominant, but I mean, this MAUL Shadow Lord is a great start, and I hope the realms of other media kind of join that. So, all right, guys, I'm going to head out. Thanks, Joe. I was actually thinking about you the other day to have you back on the podcast, but our podcasting right now has been really sporadic. So, yeah, just message me. Let me know when you want to come back on and share with us what art you're taking to the cons. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll probably release this later. And may the force be with you always.